Politics back in the building, man, for another episode, man. This your boy Black Terry. I am your moderator, man. Listen, man, Hood Politics. Before I get into it, man, like, subscribe, and comment on the page, man. It's important, man. We grow this platform, man. Grow this page. It's gonna be real important to everything we doing moving forward. And I plan on really doing a lot of important things, man, through this page. And the only way that my real supporters are going to be able to benefit is being a member of the page. You also could go to Facebook, man. Join the Facebook page, Hood Politics, or King Tarver. Look it up, man. Join the page, man. It's real informative, man. And I'm looking for contributors as well, man. People who want to, get off the sideline and get on the front line. Have these tough conversations, man. Hood Politics Media. I want to shout out all my core supporters, man. People who been with me from day one, people who comment, man, and people who share my content. I want to thank you, man. It's greatly appreciated. Give yourself an applause, man. I want to give you your flowers, man. Tap in with me, man. Email me your social media handles, man. If you like, I'll post it, man, and, build your followers and stuff like that. Or if you got something going on, listen, it's not a competition, man. For me, it's about, man, being informative and, really, having tough conversations, man, And with that being said, man, I want to touch on the YSL trial, man. This shit is going off the rails, man. And everybody know, man, the last couple of weeks, man, the state of Georgia star witness was the boy Little Woody, man. Little Woody. That's his name, man. He clarified it, man. And it has been must-see TV, man. Must-see TV, man. Little Woody is hilarious, man. Now, everybody say, man, how is it funny, man? Thug is on trial, man. Ain't nothing funny. It's not. But, man, I'm sorry, man. You can't ignore, man. The boy is special, man. He real special, man. And with that being said, man, I want to address a recent interview Woody did on the Danza Project. Shout out to the Danza Project, man. That was brave of you guys, man, to bring him on and, let him tell his side of what what's going on, why he did it. And there's a lot of people who disagree with that, man. There's a lot of people out there who have a serious problem with them giving him a platform. And specifically, man, my partner, man, Milwaukee's finest, man, Mr. Ayo, check this out, boss, man, Mr. 414. Yo, man, me and him, we had a little brief, back and forth, not to divulge our private conversation. But, I really respect bro, man, Mr. Ayo, check this out, boss, man. If y'all know who I'm talking about, man, he does a lot of good content. He spits a lot of game, man, and really tells it like it is. But, as brothers, man, and as comrades, man, I believe we have a right to tell each other when we right and when we're wrong. And, he did a post criticizing the Danza Project about giving Woody a platform to tell a story. And he was very passionate about his opinion, that rats shouldn't, have a platform to speak. And as a street dude, man, as a nigga, like I said, I've been in the streets, and I tell this all the time, man, I've been in the streets since 1985. I'm not no off the porch dude. The game, the streets was my porch, man. I come from it. Like I tell everybody, man, my family, I come from the game. I was raised in the game, man. I was raised on the game principles in my household. You know what I'm saying? Like it wasn't, my mama and my people cared more about how I conducted myself in the streets than how I conducted myself in school, because they knew that the streets would ultimately be my fate. And my mom was real concerned about how I held my head, how I handled myself. And, I respect that, man, And one of the things, man, two things my mom despised, and I mean despised in this world, was a snitch and a thief. She had no respect. And I mean, if I could tell you the many times I've heard this in my lifetime, man, my mom really, vehemently, talking about how she didn't care for snitches or she didn't care for thieves. And, so I got a different perspective. Like if I was raised around firemen, I probably would have been a fireman. If I was raised around, lawyers, I probably would have been a lawyer, but I wasn't. I was raised around hustlers, man, go-getters, man, hoes, man, pool sharks, man, gamblers, man. I was raised around real loud street folk, man. And, those principles was taught to me at a very, 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 very young age, man. And it was a very formidable part of my education, man, of being a man. Is, I was raised on street principles. And with that being said, Mr. 414, man, my man, hey, yo, check this out, boss. He kind of went in on the Danza Project for giving Woody a platform to talk about, uh, who he is, and he really didn't go into why he testified against Thug, but I'm gonna do my research. I was told that he talked about it on some other platforms, and I really see an opportunity for us to have a very, very tough conversation, man, because this is one of the things we do in our community, especially the black community, is we like to sweep things under the rug. We don't like to talk about, have tough conversations. And I think that's one of the things we do to our detriment, is not really talk about the important issues and have tough conversations, man, even when we don't like what the subject matter is, man. To ignore it is only to tactically promote it. And when you don't address it, you don't call it what it is, or you don't talk about it, or talk about the different nuances of what's going on in the streets, it just it leaves people to figure it out on their own. And with that being said, man, my bro, man, he had a very passionate response to the Danza Project about giving Woody a platform to talk about himself and his background. And so I tapped in with bro. I said, listen, man, he's way too intelligent and too sharp of a dude, man, to be that angry about something like this. And I couldn't understand it. But then I watched this post a couple of times, man, and to me, and I'm just being honest, bro, and like I said, there's no comfort in the truth. It seemed like you was more mad about the money they gave him than actually the platform they gave him. And it felt like, okay, real niggas out here ain't getting these opportunities to, make that kind of money in one sitting, and, you give it to a dude who, quote unquote, supposed to be a rat. Who, and I just, I had to tap in with my bro, man, because I respect him. He built this platform from the ground up. He offers a lot of good game. But because I like you and I do agree with a lot of what you say, don't mean I agree with everything you say, because I'm a man too. And we had a very, respectful and cordial conversation about, I told him, bro, you way too intelligent, way too sharp, to kind of, go at it like that. And he said, hey, man, I'm entitled to my opinion. I feel this wasn't right. But I think he failed to realize some things, man. And I think the writing was on the wall for a lot of us, man. And that's, the game is dead, man. And I say it all the time, man. My motto, man, smart is the new gangster, man. Gangster ain't gangster no more, man. Smart is the new gangster, man. And one of the things, the mistakes we make in our community is we want to call ourselves a community, but really we practice individualism. And what I mean by that is everybody's for self. So you can't, they can't coexist, man. These two mindsets, of this mindset of community, the game, the culture, the cult, and then everybody at the end of the day acts in their own self-interest, whatever that is, whether you tell, whether you backdoor your homeboy, you kill your partner, you steal, whatever you do, it just doesn't make rational sense. And one of the things, man, I learned, man, through my experience, man, and I tell everybody, and I've said this many times, man, I did 19 years in federal prison collectively. I did it on the installment plan. I did 8 years, and then I got out and I did 11 years. And when I learned through that process, man, and I mean, probably day one of my walking into in federal prison was that it's all a facade. It's all a myth, man. And I'm gonna get into some of that, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna get into some of that. What I mean by that. But man, my partner, man, Mr. Ayo, check that out, boss, man. He was real upset that they paid him 10 bands to come sit on their platform. But another element I think he failed to realize is that they ain't street dudes, man. And like I told him, man, he got to understand, as media now, we're not street dudes, we're media. We have to realize that more civilians and people are more interested in what we're talking about than so-called real niggas. And he's saying, man, nobody want to hear what he got to say. Is just an excuse or whatever, or reason, whatever he said. And I said, bro, but the people who don't understand where we come from need to hear competing ideas. And that's what got me into this whole social media, this thing right here, is that there was no competing beliefs and ideas. Everything was like one-sided. And I just can't commit to that type of thinking where it's so one-sided and there's never no other competing view or perspective offered. So that's why I got into this, man, because I just felt like, man, it was people were being misled and sold this story about what street life is like and what it means to be a street nigga, and me being a street nigga since 1985. I just couldn't, sit back and say nothing, man. And I just stepped out, man, and put my hat in the arena, and I'm open to all smoke, whatever anybody want to talk about, anybody want to address, they don't like something I'm saying, hit me, inbox me, email me, whatever. I post it, and speak your piece, and it doesn't have to be an argument. One thing about it, I don't argue, and it's something that fell on my desk, man, and I say this specifically for this post, for this session, is that it was something I read, man. It was profound, and it stated the arguer, and it says, as long as we seek to study how to be a greater arguer of each other, we will never get to no place in this world. I'm not here to do that. If you want to argue, then okay. I don't want to hear it. You can sit down, be sane, represent yourself as a person, a sane person. If you say that you love your brother over there in New York, okay, prove it to me by showing that you love your brother in Chicago. We don't come for that. We don't come to argue. If you don't like what I'm saying, you don't have to take it. The Holy Quran teaches Muhammad that Allah makes for him an enemy in every town that he goes in. That's to keep him always aware that you cannot get by without having enemies dissatisfied. There are those type of people who always want to make themselves heard and seen and heard. Well, it's all right, so long as you're helping the people. But when you're not helping the people, we don't care to see you nor hear you. I mean, you have to have competing views because everybody don't think the same. We're not a monolithic people. And what monolithic means is we don't all celebrate the same. We don't all think the same. We don't all have the same cultural views. We don't come from the same economic backgrounds. So it's important, man, that everybody's voice is heard, even the rats. So, I just can't sit back and not say anything, and I call myself a part of the media now. I'm no longer a street dude. I'm a reformed street dude. I'm media now. So, and I have a responsibility as media to do my homework and have an objective view without my own personal views seeping into what I'm trying to convey. Too many times, man, these platforms are just so one-sided and let everybody tell it, they come on the air real. I'm sorry, man. I've been in federal prisons all over the country, and there ain't that many real niggas out there. I'm telling you now. So everybody that come on these platforms ain't a real nigga. Yeah, you might not have told on somebody, but you did some other fuck shit. You might not have told on nobody, but you backdoored your homie for a bitch. You owe your people money. You don't take care of your kids. I could name all kind of, things, man. You killed your partner. You set your boy up who was helping you feed your family. I could go down a list of pieces of shit, things niggas do out here that don't make them real niggas, man. A real nigga just ain't a fake nigga ain't just a snitch, man. A fake nigga is a nigga that do anything that violates the social norms. And what I mean by that is, we have this belief in our culture that, man, it's okay. Everything is fair game, except putting yourself first when it comes to your freedom. It don't work like that, man. It don't work like that. And listen, I'm not justifying. I'm just offering another sane, rational perspective. So, man, listen, man. Yo, Mr. A, check that out, boss. Listen, it's all love, my nigga. I don't have no, I still follow you. I still listen to you. I still, like I said, I agree with a lot of what you say. But, on this one, homie, I got to call, man. I got to call Bad Money, man. You know what I mean? You wrong because you're media now. And you're not, you know, you was real upset about them boys paying that man to come on their platform, but I think you fail to realize they ain't street dudes. And like I told you, civilians want to know both sides. Civilians don't just buy into this code and all that. And if you look at some of the posts and stuff, that boy getting a lot of love where he go because some people feel like he brave for doing what he doing. Now, with that being said, I'm gonna give you some. I'm gonna give you. You know, I like to use a lot of what I call personal anecdotes, and that means personal experiences. I don't talk about what somebody else did or what I heard. I can just tell you what I seen and been through and experienced with my own life. When I came into the federal system in 2000, man, I was highly upset because I didn't understand how conspiracy worked, and I would never forget on the van ride to the prison when I got arrested. They were extraditing me. And I was sitting next to this big dude, man. And I was just looking at I had my indictment balled up in my hand because, you know, you cuff like this, and I had my indictment in my hand. And so he was asking me, man, you know, what's going on with you? And I was like, man, I'm on an indictment, a conspiracy indictment. I said, but I'm on an indictment with 17 people, and I only know 2. I said, how is that possible, man? I'm like, man, I'm going to trial. He like, yeah, you going to trial? Yeah, all right. I said, man, I'm going to trial, man. I said, I ain't got nothing to do with this, man. He said, listen, bro. He said, only way you could beat a conspiracy is with a conspiracy. What? The only way you can beat a conspiracy is with a conspiracy. I'm like, man, this fat motherfucker, man. I said, all right, bro. But it wasn't until I got to the prison and started going into the law library and started researching the federal conspiracy statute. And it wasn't until then that I realized that conspiracy isn't about what you did or didn't do individually, but it's the collective. Now, I know a bunch of Woodies. A bunch of Woodies. And what I mean by that is niggas who get caught up and they tell the police anything they think they want to hear just to get free, just to get back home that night. Not worrying about, you know, they tell them anything. And I know this because niggas been telling on me since 1994, man. I got documented statements going back to 1994 of people telling on me. And none of it came to light until I was trying to prepare to go to trial on my federal case in 2014. Yeah. Yes, that long. And I started getting these statements, reading these statements, and some of them were so old, but I remember the verbatim. Dudes telling the feds that they was doing business with me. Dudes was telling the feds they bought stuff off me, and I never knew it. But you know what's funny? Over the years, I would see these dudes in passing, and I would get this funny energy. And I'm like, damn, man, why that nigga acting weird? But now I realize he told on me, and he don't know if I know. So they would, oh, you know, hey, how you doing? And, like, what the fuck? So I'm like, damn. But knowing what I know now about the feds and how it works, niggas will go in there and tell them anything, and they'll give them credit, give them a pass, whatever, let them free, cut their time. And they done told on you, you don't even know it. You won't know it unless you go to trial. And you demand all the documents that they're going to use in your trial. So when I demanded all the documents that they intended to use, the feds gave me everything. And this is in 2014. I had statements going back to 1994, 95, 96, 97, 2000, 2001. I was in federal prison. I was in federal prison in 2001, and the nigga was telling on me that I was a supplier, you know, a year or two before. Got the paperwork. This ain't rumor or I think or somebody told me. I got the paperwork. So a lot of Woodies is out there. A lot of Woodies is out there. Niggas who tell you just don't know they told. And that's the thing, man. A lot of people are suffering from recent bias. And what I mean by that is to see it now, to see it and deal with it, you only become aware of it. And then you get offended. But these things been going on. These things been going on. There been Woodies out there, man, who'll say anything to get out of trouble and then go about their business. They done fed them people some bullshit or whatever, a story because you a name. See, I was a name. I was a big name, a big name. I was at the top of the food chain for a long time. So people use my name a lot, man, to get out of jail or get out of trouble. But it wasn't until over a decade later that I found out that this is what was going on, at least with me. I knew it went on with other people, but then to see what's going on with me. So it's a lot of woolies out there, man. Stop it, man. They be killing me, man. These dudes, man. Everybody that come on these platforms is real niggas. They stand up. And you know what? Let me tell you something. Most of you niggas never met the circumstance where you don't know what you'll do. Most of you niggas never met the circumstance or sat in that seat that me and Thug that sat in, or Thug that's sitting in and I done sat in, to where you don't know what you would do. But you all, oh man, I'll do this, I'll do that. You don't know what you'll do, homeboy. All you can do is pray that you never meet that circumstance that, man, where them people got your nuts in a vice grip, man. And they try to squeeze you, man. So, you know, man, listen, stop all this cap, man. I'm not impressed. I'm not impressed at all. I don't listen to what a nigga say he would do. Listen, show me what you did, homie. Or go, I just don't buy it, man. You know, man, like I said, man, smart is the new gangster, man. But I will say this. Now, remember the brother told me, I told you the brother told me the only way you could beat a conspiracy is with a conspiracy. Well, now, the only reason they indicted Thug is because they had what they thought would be a credible witness, which was Woody. I'm sorry, his name escapes me right now, man, but so they indicted Thug thinking, man, we got a star witness, man. This man know everything. He in the trenches. He know all the dirty details. He know where the body's buried. He know everything. And Woody done went in there and turned these people's investigation upside down. I'm talking about, man, he done made a fool out of these people, man. I'm surprised the police ain't killed his ass. Motherfuckers talking about niggas in the street killing him. I'm surprised the police ain't knocked this block off. Because they hot. They staked this whole investigation on his testimony. And he done went in there and he man, they my shoulders. Oh man, that nigga said, she said, why you shrug your shoulders? He said, because they my shoulders. Woody is a fool, man. But guess what? You ever your grandmother say you, sometimes to catch a fool, you gotta play the fool. That's what Woody did, man. He undermined their entire investigation. Thug coming home. Because, and I'm gonna tell you why. Because the entire credibility of the prosecution is in the trash can. And his case has become such a circus that no rational juror is going to be able to convict him with all the bullshit that had come through that courtroom. I done seen people have all kind of outbursts. And no rational person can sit on the jury and convict Thug. Thug coming home. Now, what Thug got to worry about, the feds can still pick this case up. And that's what scares me, because in federal court, it's a whole other ballgame. They got tools and things they could use, man. Listen. So, I got them either offering Thug some kind of soft plea somewhere in the next coming weeks. Remember, I said it right here on Hood Politics Media. They either going to offer Thug some kind of soft plea just to get a conviction and get it out the way, because right now they look like bumbling idiots. The prosecution look like bumbling idiots. They either going to offer him a soft plea or he going to beat it outright. Thug coming home, man. And it's unfortunate because he got Woody to thank for it. Woody had made them people look like complete idiots, man. And if y'all don't see that, man, and y'all talking about, oh, he understand. But he understand undermining their case. You can't believe nothing he say. You can't believe nothing he say. And it discredits everything because he's the star witness. He was the reason they even went and got an indictment. Then listen, open your eyes, man. Let me tell you something what most of us struggle from. It's something called, and I want y'all to look this up. I got a homework assignment for y'all. It's something called cognitive dissonance. Cognitive dissonance is when you have what you know and what you come to know competing against each other. Most people will refuse the information that contradicts what they already know because they can't, well, I was taught this and I was taught that. But the evidence, the facts is showing you something different. And your mind can't reconcile the two ideas. So there's a mental fight that goes on in people's heads. They're going to believe what they want to believe because that's what they've been believing the longest, even though you're showing them something different. Or the evidence or whatever shows them something different. Now, should Woody be on that stand testifying against the? Of course not, man. I'm not justifying. I'm not saying it's okay. But he doing a damn good job, man, of Brick trying to help that boy get home. He doing a damn good job, man. I'm telling you, because he making a fool out of them people, and they look stupid. Let me tell you something, man. In my federal investigation, one of the individual who actually started the whole investigation against me was what you would call a disgruntled employee. And this individual would get mad at me for different various dumb reasons and go to somebody and vent and talk about my business. And that individual that my co-defendant would talk to so happened to be a federal informant. And this federal informant would harvest my co-defendant for information. And I mean details, because this person was close to me. And they thinking, oh, I'm just venting to somebody who can understand or whatever. But you telling this individual who's a federal informant all my business, all my family business, all my personal business. So when we get indicted, that same person who was telling my business stood up, wouldn't tell. I ain't got nothing to say. You can stick bamboo sticks under my nails, I ain't talking. But did that make me feel better that they didn't testify or didn't cooperate when you started the investigation? I'm sorry, like, it don't make sense. And this is the shit we do in our community. We sit up and we justify shit that don't make sense. We can't have it both ways, man. We got to start developing some rational opinions, man. And right now, man, we ain't doing a very good job of it, man. You got dudes out here mad because the man got on the stand. But he's, like I said, the man is doing a masterful job of undermining the state's investigation against Doug. Now, I can tell you now, that shit ain't going to fly in the feds. But in the state, he's smoking their boots, man. He got them looking like bumbling idiots. So, man, I'm just trying to, like I said, Hood Politics is not a gossip platform. It's not, I'm not using my platform to attack people, to harm people, expose people, none of that, man. I ain't with none of that shit. Because it's corny. Because we all got different choices we made in our life that we ain't proud of. Because guess what? What if I started getting niggas' baby mamas on my platform talking about what a piece of shit father they is or a piece of shit man they is? Fuck what, if they told or didn't tell, what kind of man is you? So, it's like, man, I just, like I said, that's one of the things that brought me to this. Because I couldn't sit back and continue to watch, man, just the irrational thinking that goes on these platforms, man, and everybody coming on these platforms acting like, oh, I'm a real nigga. Okay, yeah, whatever. So listen, man, Hood Politics, man. Listen, like, subscribe, comment, join the channel, man. Let's get to something, man. Let's do something positive, man. Give yourself an applause, man. I'm your boy, Black Terry, the habitual hustler, man. Salute.